I know there can be a lot of noise in the social media strategy space, and things are always changing. So I wanted to keep things simple today and just provide you with the most straightforward and minimalist Instagram strategy advice that is actually going to make an impact for you in 2023.
Welcome to Thriving Teacher Talk. I'm your host, Jillian Fernandez. I'm a former teacher from New York turned full-time mom and teacherpreneur on a mission to help you create a profitable and sustainable income selling your teaching resources or services. I'm here to make your life easier by giving you the best advice, trainings, and mindset shifts to grow your business, and most importantly, save you time and sanity.
Okay, so the only thing constant about Instagram is that it's always changing, and 2023 will be no different. While we saw the rise of many new trends, strategies, and content types in 2022, not all of them will be coming with us into the new year. In this video, I wanted to share some of the trends that I predict will be huge in the new year on Instagram, and especially highlight some visual and design trends that'll be the perfect inspiration to give your brand a refresh for the new year. Before we dive into the trends and strategies that are going to help you grow on Instagram in 2023. In general, going into 2023, I think we're going to continue to see Instagram stories become even more casual, organic, and very natural feeling. Not a lot of filters, not a lot of fluff, just either images, text, and talking to your audience. Now, one thing I've talked about before is using engagement groups to hack the algorithm. That's definitely not going to make it in 2023. It's going to be all about organic, real, genuine engagement. People should stop trying to put all their energy into hacking the algorithm and instead focus on creating genuinely good content that your audience is going to connect with. If you create an engagement group or an engagement pod with other people in your niche, you're just going to end up sending the wrong messages to the algorithm about who your ideal audience is. Instead, spend time connecting with your actual followers and making good content for them. This will allow the algorithm to understand who you are actually targeting and have your content show up on more of the feeds of the right people. Also, posting long-winded talking videos on your Instagram stories, especially when you don't have captions, is also going to be out. Posting short, concise, and visually appealing videos on your Instagram story is what's going to work best. Instagram stories is probably the shortest form type of content people want to be, even shorter than Reels or TikToks. If you post like 2 minutes of you talking to your story, most people are going to just skip right past. Maybe none of these came as a surprise to you, or maybe you're a little bit shocked by this trend report I've just delivered. But either way, let me know in the comments. I want to go over 3 of the key growth strategies that you're going to want to know if you want to succeed on Instagram in the new year. I know there can be a lot of noise in the social media strategy space, and things are always changing. So I wanted to keep things simple today and just provide you with the most straightforward and minimalist Instagram strategy advice that is actually going to make an impact for you in 2023. Because ultimately, just utilizing these trends that I'm sharing with you alone is not going to be enough to grow an engaged audience. So I want to provide you with a foundation of strategy suggestions to get you started off right, and then we can dive into the fun, aesthetic, visual components that you might want to integrate to help you get a little bit more of a boost in terms of like reach and your content. So the first thing that you're really going to want to do is get really clear on your purpose instead of trying to pick a niche. I know that's crazy, right? I think the way we've talked about picking a niche on Instagram in the past is kind of like outdated when it comes to growth strategies for 2023. The gap between succeeding on Instagram and being disappointed in your growth is not going to be bridged by just having a hyper specific niche or a great elevator pitch in your bio. What you need as a creator is a really, really clear sense of purpose. Part of this is determining if you are aiming to be more of an influencer or more of a business owner. I know this distinction isn't always that clear, and there's a lot of gray area in these types of categories, but let me explain. Basically, you need to answer for yourself whether creating content is the means to an end or an end in itself. In the more traditional business owner sense, creating content is the means to an end. You create content to market your business, to sell your resources or your services, your products, whatever it might be. And in the more influencer or content creator sense, creating content is the end itself. You primarily make your money off of, brand sponsorships, ad sets, affiliate marketing, that kind of thing. So first of all, you want to know, are you taking the online business owner route or more of the content creator slash influencer road And that's going to change how you kind of approach creating your content. Then you know whether you're creating content to kind of express yourself creatively, to push the bounds on what you've made in the past, to build a community and like a relationship with your viewer, or if you're making content more so to solve problems, answer questions, and direct people to your paid offers. Ideally, as a creator, your content is going to exist at the intersection of three main points: what your audience is looking for, what you love to create, and what you actually have time to create. That is the basis for a sustainable strategy, an Instagram strategy that you can actually stick to for the long term, which is what you're going to need to do if you want to see real growth. Okay, so the second piece to my minimal but effective Instagram strategy formula is creating a content calendar. Once you have your purpose and your kind of ultimate why figured out, like we discussed, in the next step, you need to create a consistent content calendar based on purpose and then actually execute on it. This is a big struggle that a lot of creators have. You create a content calendar that you're super happy with, but then you don't actually make the content. Now, here's the thing: no matter what all the other Instagram strategy videos say, there's no one correct way to grow on Instagram. There's no one perfect strategy. It's going to completely depend on your situation, the audience you're trying to connect with, and what you want to share. There's lots of different types of content that you can post on Instagram, and they all have their advantages and disadvantages depending on your specific circumstances. So let's talk about an example. Graphic carousels have become really popular. It's like kind of like a standard form of Instagram content in the past few years, and that can be really effective for helping you grow. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's the perfect strategy for every creator. I think that graphic carousels are the best type of content for more of like the online business owner type category, like I described before. If your primary goal is to provide education, solve problems, answer questions, and ultimately drive traffic from your Instagram over to whatever paid offers you have going on, then graphic carousels are going to be a great type of content for you. But for creators who are taking more of like that influencer route, where their primary goal is to connect with their audience and build relationships and then partner with brands in order to monetize your audience, then graphic carousels may not be the best because they don't lean into that relationship building side of Instagram. It's more of like a transaction of knowledge with your audience. You're providing that value and you're building that kind of like trust and expertise and authority, but you aren't necessarily building up friendships. And that's why for influencer or content creator types, it's probably more effective to focus on photos of you, like photo dumps for carousels, and also reels that feature you more often. So you can see how there are so many different types of content on Instagram, and some of them work really, really well for growth and for certain types of people for certain circumstances. So that's why it's so important to figure out what your purpose and what your why is before you dive into planning content specifics, or else you might end up creating really awesome content, but it's not effective for what your goals are and what your purpose is. So that's why I really recommend creating your own content calendar. Or you can also grab my ultimate year-long Instagram content calendar. It goes through what you can plan for your entire year for posts and stories and reels and all of that. It's linked in the show notes. This is going to just help you figure out what you actually have time for, what your purpose is, and what's going to connect with your audience. And then figure out how often you're going to post and plan that all out on a content calendar and plan it into your week to actually go ahead and create that content. Okay, I'm just going to be straight up with you with this last strategy suggestion, and that's to focus on video. Okay, before you freak out, this doesn't mean that you should never post photos again or that Instagram has fully turned into TikTok, because that's just not the case. But the honest truth is, video is just a genuinely engaging type of content. And to ignore it because you're kind of scared of trying something new is really going to put you at a disadvantage when it comes to Instagram growth in 2023. I really believe that focusing on video is a part of your Instagram strategy, and really putting reels at the forefront does not have to be intimidating or scary. Instagram Reels, especially lately, I find have trended more towards low effort, ultra short forms of content. Think like montages, single clip reels, one clip with just like a text over the top. This is the kind of thing that I'm seeing all over my Reels feed. And you can incorporate video into your strategy if you've already been posting videos on Instagram. It's like when you go to take a photo on your phone, Literally just pause for 10 or 15 more seconds and make that photo an actual video. If you could add a little bit of camera movement or some kind of like lighting changements or movement within the scene, then you've got yourself a reel that's pretty much ready to post. If you just add a trending audio and some kind of relevant text over the top. So the next time you're taking pictures of your resources, instead of just snapping a picture, make it into a quick video. Now, obviously, there's always room to get more creative than this and provide more value, but you can at least dip your toe in and get started with these really low effort, beginner friendly types of reels. Instagram is an inherently visual platform. So, as someone who wants to succeed on Instagram, it's important to keep track of the changing design and aesthetic trends that you know what types of visuals are currently the most effective at grabbing and holding the attention of your audience. So, those are my trend predictions for 2023. I hope that you enjoyed. Let me know in the comments what you think you're ready to focus on this year. If you're here on Apple Podcasts, you can leave a comment as a review. I would love to hear from you. Also, be sure to head over to our Facebook community, Thriving Teacher Tips, to keep this conversation going. If you loved this episode, be sure to subscribe so you can catch all new episodes. Leave a review if something resonated, or even just send me a DM. It means the world to me to hear from you. Thank you for letting me into your business and your life today. We're going to love growing together as you create a profitable and sustainable income selling your teaching resources or services. I am so honored to be here to make your life a little bit easier with the best advice, training, and mindset shifts to grow your business, and most importantly, save you time and sanity. I'll see you in the next one.